most. And Liza Long is good enough to join me now. She is the author of I Am Adam Lanza's Mother and the upcoming book, The Price of Silence, A Mom's Perspective on Mental Illness. And Liza, you've been on the show a number of times, always sadly in the wake of tragedy, but welcome back.
Thank you, Brooke. Thank you for calling attention to this issue that affects so many families.
Absolutely, and that's why we want to talk about this. I read your most recent blog post in the wake of the shootings over the weekend, and you wrote specifically, just talking about your son, that it usually takes 2 to 3 police officers and a tranquilizer to get him into care. Liza, can you just remind us of you and your son's story?
Sure. So I wrote I Am Adam Lanza's Mother after the Newtown tragedy, which has so many echoes to this current tragic situation. And it was because I was so frustrated by my inability to get help for my child. We all want what any parent would want for their child, just a happy, productive life. But our mental health care delivery model is so broken, as this latest tragedy reminds us. In my own case, my son is a sweet, wonderful, promising child. I hope the world for him. But when he goes into a manic rage, it's nearly impossible to control him. And I know I speak for many parents out there who go through the same personal tragedies every single day that only become highlighted when we have this very public tragedy of a Newtown or an Isla Vista. So many tragic young lives lost.
Each of these cases is entirely unique. I want to make that clear. But I think you felt the same as I did when you really get into reading about the shooter from over the weekend in Santa Barbara. You know, he had been seeing therapists since he was 8. Apparently, he had 2 therapists. You know, his mother was vigilant enough to see something he had written or posted online in April, called the therapist, who then called police. There was a welfare check. I mean, I could go on. It seems like the red flags weren't missed, yet Liza, he was able to do what he did.
Right, and this case, maybe more so than some of the other cases, again highlights those major gaps in our mental health care delivery model. First of all, that we have to rely on the police as first responders for mental health crisis. That's a huge burden on law enforcement, and sometimes they lack the training. I believe all law enforcement officers are heroes, but sometimes they don't have the training that they need to spot something, like when they did that welfare check. And it's really not even fair that we've chosen to treat mental illness through law enforcement, through prison, when there are other options.
So let's talk about that. You know, in this blog, you talk about these 2 bills in Congress to help. Specifically, I want you to tell us all about Helping Families in Mental Health Crisis Act. This is proposed by Congressman Tim Murphy. What is that proposing in terms of narrowing the gap you talk about?
Right. I was one of the parents who testified in a forum after Newtown about what parents of children with serious mental illness need. And at that time, we still did not have a diagnosis for my son after more than 8 years. Representative Murphy's bill is really drilling down on some of the issues that would help families like mine and children like mine to be happy, productive members of society. One of the things that might have helped in the Roger case is called assisted outpatient treatment. I believe in California, there's Laura's Law that has been put into place in some communities. And what that requires is that when Elliot Rodger was prescribed medication, he would have had to take that medication to remain in the community so that he could be safe, so that the entire community could be safe. That's one provision that would really help families. Another one that concerns us are the current HIPAA laws, which are well-meaning, meant to protect privacy. But in the case of a child like Elliot Rodger with mental illness, 22 years old, because of privacy laws, parents may not have even had access to knowledge that would have helped them to help their son. This, for me personally, my son is 14.
Right.
I'm terrified of what happens when he turns 18, and I can't help with his care anymore. So these provisions alone are reasons to really look at Helping Families in Mental Health Crisis Act. It really gives our communities a chance to prevent tragedies like these. And again, like you said, Brooke, every situation is unique. These are outlier events. The vast majority of people with mental illness are not dangerous, but we still owe it to our children to make our communities safer
Yes.
for all children.
I so appreciate you coming forward, sharing your very personal story, and again, just for folks to be able to read again in Congress, Helping Families in Mental Health Crisis Act, the one proposed by Congressman Tim Murphy, lies along. Thank you, as always, for coming
Thank
on the
you.
show.